What is up, Warcraft? My name is Shelemental, and welcome to episode number 2 of What is up, Warcraft on my channel. So yeah, in this episode, we're going to be discussing 7.2.5, the new patch that just came out, and the Tomb of Sargeras, and if you enjoy, make sure to drop me a like. With that out of the way, I'm going to start talking about my experience with Tomb of Sargeras that I went down. So, basically, the day the patch dropped, I was actually on vacation with my family for a week. We went to the Bahamas. It was very nice. So I didn't actually get to go out and play in the patch until a week afterwards. So I actually got onto the patch and I got to play a little bit into the Death of Chromie scenario. Now, if any of you have played that, it's very, very fun. It's fun content that is a good solo challenge for people. And when I played through it, it really opened my eyes as to how little content we actually got in 7.2 with the crazy amount of narrative content they gave us. It was just insane that we actually got this really cool Chromie scenario where you're going through and you actually have a reason to do it, and you get these really cool armor pieces, which I didn't even complete the scenario because I'm not looking up any guides until I've tried it at least 20 times. I want to try and do it solo with a perfect run before I look up a guide from, like, I don't know who made one, like, whoever the fuck, maybe Asmongold made one, who knows. Before I look up a guide, I want to do it solo because that's the kind of player that I am. I want to see, I want to experience, I want to make sure that I like the scenario before I just go and basically cheat my way through it, because guides are basically cheats. And yeah, so Death of Chromie scenario was really good. The new heirlooms and the new toys, I'll briefly talk about those. So the new heirlooms scaled up to 110. I don't like the gold cost. I really think they should just chunked 1 to 60 in one, and then 1 to 100 in one, and then 100 to 110. They should just chunk them rather than making them separate. Because now, to fully upgrade a armor heirloom, it's like 10,000 gold plus to just upgrade one armor heirloom from 1 to 110, which is kind of rough on my gold. And the new flight toys, I actually really like those. I don't know how the community felt about those. You click them and they instantly unlock all the flight points in either Eastern Kingdoms or Kalimdor, and they're faction specific. I really, really liked that. I thought that was really cool how, now for players who've been playing for years, players who've been playing for literally 11 years, literally, have always been going to these places. They're just running there on their little heirloom mount, getting the 60% movement speed from level 1, and then, yeah. So now, with these toys, you can just instantly fly places, which is a lot nicer, because, okay, I get it, new players are going to come into it and say, oh, wow, I can get these, and it easily gets it. New players aren't going to be seeing these, so I get the players who were concerned about this, because I did see forum posts that were like, what about players who come to the game, which is a fair enough point. They come to the game, first character, they buy the toy, after they get their first character, they instantly can fly wherever they want, and their leveling comes 10 times faster. I don't agree with this at all. We already have heirlooms out, and heirlooms are broken how good they are. It's dumb. Plus the heirloom mount, which I have both of them. I have almost all the heirlooms scaled to some level, at least. I almost have all the heirlooms. I have the heirloom mount, and now I also have this. And I really, really like what Blizzard did here. And I think it's a good addition that they added these toys, because getting from, let's say I want to go quest in, I was Alliance, I want to go quest in Westfall. And I'm currently sitting in, I don't know, Elwyn Forest. I don't always want to have to run from Elwyn Forest to Westfall. It's a short distance, but I don't always want to have to take my little mount and spend 5 minutes just going there. I get that's part of an MMO, but after doing it 20 times over the past couple years, it's getting kind of boring. And I like how they did this, so basically players have a new refreshed way of getting places, and I think that's really helpful for new characters. And like how they did this faction specific, so if I'm a Horde, I can't go to Eastern Kingdoms and start leveling in like Westfall, because Horde can't do that. It's only for your one continent, because you know each continent kind of has one Horde, Kalimdor, Alliance, Eastern Kingdoms. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's get into the Tomb of Sargeras. So in the background here, you guys are watching me during my LFR experience with the Tomb of Sargeras, which was really good. I really liked my LFR group that I did. We actually wiped twice on one of the bosses. That was surprising, because there was some mechanic on the Harajan boss where he spawned in a bunch of ads and he crushed them, and a bunch of people were standing in it. And I actually liked how it challenged complete retards and made them think a little bit. And even we had to talk and chat, and we were like, okay, how do we work this out? Which obviously it was one more pull and it was dead, but I really like how it actually killed us. And so yeah, Tomb of Sargeras, I did do it on normal. I beat a few bosses with my guild, and then they downed it because I had to leave. I had to go do some family shit. I downed it. I did get a few bosses down to normal, but of course, me being me, my file's corrupted. So you guys are just going to have to watch the LFR experience. And I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. The boss is really interesting. Obviously, like, the first bosses, like the giant, like, I don't know, tower green and black dude, like, with the little horn, the rhino dude, he wasn't too challenging. He probably had 4 mechanics you had to deal with. And then when you get down to some of the farther bosses, like Sisters of the Moon, like, I really like that whole thing where it's like you're almost on top of, like, it feels like a planet. And the Avatar of Sargeras, I was watching those fights. So cool, because it's a race against the clock. We haven't seen that fight in a while. It's basically, if you don't kill him in this amount of time, the whole platform drops on you. And it's almost like the Croesus fight from Nighthold. Like, if you don't beat him before he knocks down the bridge, you're all dead. Like, the whole group wipes. And I really, really thought that's a cool mechanic, because then it challenges guilds to do it faster. And Mythic is going to be crazy. I cannot wait to see some of the cooler fights. Kill Jaded Mythic, I'm really excited to get to see people go up against it. Because now, people are just getting into, like, the first bosses of Mythic. Like, the methods and all them, the methods, you know, the big name guilds, they're progressing slowly and slowly, but most Mythic, quote-unquote Mythic guilds are still on the first boss, maybe second or third. So I'm really excited to get to see the further bosses. Harajan, I really liked his model. I really liked all the models that they had, especially the Avatar of Sargeras. I really like how he's, like, chained up in those light cuffs thing, and then he's awakened by Kill Jade, and he, like, shakes him off, and you really know that you have to kill it. And another thing that I haven't seen too much about is the art style of the thing. Tomb of Sargeras is really, really similar to, like, almost Ulduar in a way. In a way that you go from one level to the next and then you go back up. For example, you start out in this big open hall. It almost looks like the Cathedral of Eternal Night. Then you go under to this underwater area. We've never had a raid where you go up from demons to Ajara type feel. That's really, really, really cool. And I genuinely enjoyed what they did with it. And the art style was very impressive. I like how you can go from one extreme to another. And then at the end, you're fighting Kill Jaden on his little spaceship thing. His little Einstein's spaceship. And I really thought that was cool. I really like what they did with that, and I think overall they did a really good job. I'm just clicking right now just to see more about the Tomb of Sargeras. Overall, all the bosses, I thought they did a really good job with it. Goroth, he's the first boss, didn't have too many mechanics. Demonic Inquisition, I actually got to try that one too. Again, corrupted. That was kind of fun. It's more of like an ad fight than it is an actual like full-out fight, I guess, because there's the two main of the... No, actually, no, I'm thinking of a different fight. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Demonic Inquisition, there's two main bosses. You gotta basically kill them. They have a shared health pool. That was pretty fun. I'm trying to just scroll through. I'm thinking, what is it? The Desolate Host. That's the ad fight. Sisters of the Moon, very cool. There was those three. I apologize if you guys hear the dog barking in the background. I think someone just arrived at my home. Mistress Sazazine, she was kind of fun, where there was that big wave, like, almost Kraken thing, jumped up and hit it. I really liked that whole thing. Harajan, I just love his model. I love how it's like a giant Naga, and of course like the Murloc spawn, he crashes down. Not too hard. Overall wasn't bad. Sisters of the Moon was kind of tough. You really had to know what you were doing with that one compared to the other ones. The Desolate Host, easy ad fight. You just killed ads. I don't personally like ad fights because, well, as a Ret Pally, we don't have too much AoE. I have a trinket for it, but other than that, I really don't have that much. You know, I got like my... Yeah, I got my trinket and I got my Wake of Ashes, basically. Maiden of Vigilance, I did get to do that. That was the one where all the balls were flying through. That was cool. I heard in Taliesin and Evatel's video, they described it as Guitar Hero, which is so true. Like, you have to, like, soak the damage and stuff. It was really cool. And then also, the Fallen Avatar fight. I actually only got to progress about halfway into that one. And I really like how, like, the platform falls underneath you. My guild personally was challenged from that because... At first, like, we were like, okay, it falls underneath you, sure, it'll be easy. It kind of almost feels like the Black Hand fight when you first fall down, but then, the thing starts falling, it's like, shit, we gotta kill him. And, it really challenged us the first few times. We were like, okay, we really gotta kill him fast, and we had to make sure we saved, like, Lust or Time Warp for that point, so we could take him down. I thought that was really good. And then Kill Jaden fight, I really wish I got to play it. I did get to do a normal pug group for Kill Jaden, but we just ended up wiping. We didn't do that much. But that fight looks really good, and his model is impressive. And the end cinematic, I will talk about that in 1 minute. So overall, Tomb of Sargeras, really fun, really diverse. One of the best raids we've seen in a long time. And it's not saying that Blizzard doesn't make good raids, because we always have good raids. PvP is always fucking a shit show, because Blizzard always forgets about them. But raids are always good, and this one especially is very good. And I really, really am happy with what they did for the first wing of LFR. I even did that. I got a piece of 900 loot, which was kind of nice. LFR drops crazy high level loot now. And yeah, overall, really enjoyed it. So now we're going to go into what I think of the end cinematic. The end cinematic that they showed, I thought they did a really good job of closing the story. I think they really did a good job of closing the story and making it feel like Kil'jaeden and Velen had a sense of closure. And I'll get into the whole Argus thing after. So we get up on the ship, Khadgar, Kil'jaeden, and what's his face? Illidan. How did I just forget his name? They're all sitting up there, and basically Kil'jaeden and Velen begin talking, and Kil'jaeden basically admits he was always jealous of Velen and how he was connected to the light, and how Kil'jaeden didn't have that. So he went with Sargeras because he basically was jealous of Velen, and he didn't think Sargeras could be stopped. And you know the old saying goes, if you can't fight him, join him. It's basically what Kil'jaeden did, and he said, maybe you'll prove me wrong. So Velen basically puts his hand on him and almost gives him a sense of closure, saying, okay, despite you killing sending my son against me, corrupting my planet, trying to kill me, I forgive you. And I thought that was really good. And then they also had the whole Illidan and Khadgar thing where they teleport out of there because the whole thing's going to explode. And I was thinking, okay, maybe no Argus. Maybe Blizzard lied. And then Illidan uses the Sargeras keystone that he got at the beginning of the, Demon Hunter. I can't even talk, I'm sorry. The Demon Hunter campaign, he picks that up and he opens up the sky and Argus is right there. And apparently after you beat Kil'jaeden and you clear the whole raid, it actually appears up in the sky, almost like a way to hype up 7.3, which is really, really cool, because if you look up in the sky and you see that planet, I'm really excited to get that. Like, that actually is motivation for me, just so, like, when I play in my games, and if I want to, like, capture it on my screen, just like a picture of Argus, I'll have that up in the sky. Like, it's really motivating me to be Tumor Sargeras, which sounds stupid, but it's really cool. And I also want to see the cinematic in game, because it's always cooler when you see it in game. So yeah, Tumor Sargeras did really well. 7.2.5, overall pretty happy with it. There's not a ton of narrative content, which I would have liked to see more of, but then again, it's just a mini patch, and it's bigger than the supposed biggest patch ever, 7.2. And yeah, overall, 7.2.5 went really, really good. So good job on you guys, Blizzard, for making such a good patch, and Tumor Sargeras really well. I can't wait to get to Heroic Tumor Sargeras, and maybe even Mythic. I'm really not geared for it right now. I'm only about 900 item level, somewhere around there. Maybe a little bit lower, and I'm really not geared for Heroic yet. So I'm going to try and gear up for Normal and Heroic, and then hopefully I can even jump into Mythic at some point, because I really do like raiding, because Tumor Sargeras, it's a great raid, it's really diverse. If you guys haven't gone in there yet, even on LFR, just go look at the raid, it's so much fun. They really did a good job with hyping up like the Pillars of Creation, incorporating those, because we haven't really seen those play a big part in it so far. We even used those against the Legion, which was really, really cool. And yeah, Tumor Sargeras, overall, they did a really, really, really good job with it. And 7.2.5, obviously, we're going to have, like, the Trial of Style event. I'm excited for that. With the Death of Chromie scenario, Black Temple Time Walking, the Auction House Dance-Off, whatever, that's not a big thing. But the Trial of Style, that's coming up some week in August. I don't know the exact date. I'll probably put that in the description. And then also the Black Temple Time Walking. That is really cool. That's really cool. I'm excited to get to kill Illidan, but we're also, like, alongside him. It's kind of cool. And that apparently drops, like, item level 900 loot, I think. It drops pretty high item level, which is kind of nice, so it's a good way to gear up new characters. So, overall, the new events coming, too, will bring it up even more. I'm kind of sad the Trial of Style is only a micro holiday and not a repeating thing that happens like once every 2 months or whatever. I kind of wish they did that, but whatever, it's okay. Overall, I'm really happy with 7.2.5. Like I said, guys, I know I'm kind of rambling about it, but I'm just trying to get this out because I got to work on other videos and more creative projects like I did for my King Varian Rin video. If you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. It's on my channel. Put a ton of editing into that, and I want to do more creative projects on my channel, so let me know if you guys agree with that. So yeah, that's about all for this video. I hope you guys are also enjoying 7.2.5. I know I sure am. And that's what's basically been happening these past few weeks with me. I've just been working on World of Warcraft and hopefully more creative projects in the future. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to drop me a comment. If you guys like 7.2.5, drop me a like, and also subscribe for more World of Warcraft content. And also let me know if you guys like this series or not. And with that being said, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.